Good time zone, everybody. Welcome to Horde of Tales. It is Tuesday. We're going to play some D&D here, and I am glad to be here. Who am I? I am Marcus, also known as the Individual, and I like my oozes like I like my ice cubes, in cube form. Also, I am also here with 4 people who give me chances to pit gelatinous cubes against them and put them through fairy shenanigans. And these 4 people who have returned once again today, I want to quickly introduce them to you. We, first of all, have joining us as the Warforged of the party, Zariel. We also have coming in with a Triton Sorcerer and a dose of chaos, Ida. Also, of course, our resident Leonin fighter who really likes athletics checks, Austin. And last but certainly last need, the half-elf pirate of the group and supplier of German chocolate, Caro.
That's canon. That's canon.
Great to have all of you here again. How is everybody doing?
We're doing well.
Yeah.
I'm older.
Healed.
Healed?
Oh.
Yeah, I was not feeling well a bit after this weekend.
Oh.
I was concerned like you all got something, but apparently it was just me, and today is the first day I felt like I live! I can eat food!
Oh.
So I went out and I bought rice to fly, Dutch rice pudding cake was on sale, and then I found another one even marked down, and I'm like, this is a gift from the universe, thanking me for my endurance, and it's gone.
It's in your tummy now.
It's in my tummy and it's gonna stay there.
Sounds like a good reward to yourself after feeling a bit under the weather for a few days. And if you're ever in the Netherlands and you get the chance to try this rice to fly, you should definitely give it a try.
That rhymed. Pretty.
Poetry through 2 languages at a time.
Just you have to be able to say the word rice de fly as a non-European in order to eat said dessert, and then you can get all the rice de fly you want.
Did you read it in the chat from Sarcastic Artist? Like the real rice to fly.
Some people
Limbo.
are this particular Dutch pies in the Netherlands are very good, and the Southerners claim a lot of pies. They make really good pies in the South, and some people in the audience and here might resonate with the South, so therefore there is this ownership of pies. I'm not complaining.
Ownership of pies.
Oh yeah.
Just to put it in perspective, the Netherlands is literally on a world map just 2 pixels on a world map.
Size
And there are these turf wars here on who makes the best pastry in this tiny country.
Austin, can you read that funny looking word in chat?
I can't read it, but I can say what you were saying. Maybe.
Go ahead.
Was it? I think it was Reistivai?
Hey,
That's very good. Nice.
one
Nice.
slice of
word
rice de fly for Austin.
It's a word I've never heard before, so I tried.
See? When you tune into Heart of Tales, you don't only get D&D and TTRPGs, you get actually like education in other languages here.
I'm being cultured.
Very
in
important
regards
for
to-
when you make your trip to Europe and the whole Horde of Bands team can be together in the same place. That'd be awesome.
Oh, that'd be amazing. Austin, you can stay with me.
Perfect.
We can host a castle.
Gwenora might have other opinions on that, Sarah.
Yeah.
No, please visit both. That's great.
oh,
you know, just come to Germany.
Just a nice trip around Europe. That sounds like a good plan.
Yeah. We have
Horde
a
of
tip
Tales
button
Con win.
below the screen.
Thank you, Gwenora. Thank you.
Alrighty. Well, what we also have on this stream is the
Already
session
so
number
off
9,
topic.
29 of our campaign that we're going to play tonight. So, how about I slowly ease us into that, us and our viewers that we have here today? Because you are here at Horde of Tales, where we talk about pastries and Euro trips. but we also play TTRPGs on this channel. On Tuesdays, as you see now, we play our D&D 5th edition campaign, Convergence, Manifesto, a series of adventures set in the Eberron campaign setting and created by the Across Eberron project. We are in the 4th chapter of this adventure series called Living Legend. And if you like what you see here and want to run your own party through these adventures, you can find all adventures and more information about the campaign on acrosseberron.com. We run our games on Astral Virtual Tabletop, and the music you're hearing is by Dark Fantasy Studios. The overlay is created by Caro, and all the character artwork that you see is an amazing cooperation between Serial and Caro. Just look at how amazing these people look. I almost feel sorry for putting them through the struggles that I put them through. Almost.
Has anyone else the feeling now, after that he said this, that we're all going to die today?
Oh no.
I mean,
no.
To be quite fair, we split the party last session. That was very smart of
I'll
us.
I'll get my character descriptions to Cyril and Caro soon, so we can make the new art.
Exactly.
Yes.
Yeah.
Last but not least, on this channel, we love cats. And one of the things that we do is to have cat vantage. If you spot an adorable kitty cat on one of the players' screens, you can use your channel points and provide cat vantage to any of the players, including the GM. When a player has cat vantage, a cute little kitty cat icon appears on their screen, and they can use that, cash that in to get advantage on a roll. Keep in mind, every player can only hold one charge of cat vantage. So if you already see a cute little kitty cat icon on someone's screen, you should not give them cat vantage, but give it to someone else. With that being said, let's roll our intro credits and then continue our adventures in Eberron. We are back, and in the meantime, our dear Serial has vanished, but is just making it back. What a dramatic entrance here.
I did not find the thing I was looking for. We do not have one. It's fine.
No worries, no worries. What we
was
do
that
have...
word again, Austin?
The pudding thingy.
Oh, hold on. Oh no.
You can
I'm gonna
read
butcher
it.
it now because I didn't just hear it. Was it Rechtefall? Is it close? I forgot what the word was now.
It's in the
Well,
chat.
It's in the chat.
Well, no matter...
I don't know.
Rise to Fly, that's a pretty good guide on how to pronounce it.
Rechtefall?
Anyhow,
Okay, I remembered.
Austin, you're starting out with a dose of cat vantage, powered by Sarcastic Artist. Thank you very much for that. And with that cat vantage, we roll into a quick little recap of our previous session. Because when last we left our adventurers of the Clifftop Adventurers Guild, you had started your trials in this manifest zone of Thelanis, the plane of stories and the fairies. Your first trial was in a magical cave with only a single bridge leading over a dark chasm, and that bridge was covered in spikes and swinging blades, and surely was meant to be crossed in dramatic fashions, which you did, but in your own original Clifftop Adventurer style, getting across. And so, with your guile, cunning, and a few dexterity saving throws and athletics checks that some people like more than other people, you made it over to the other side, jumped off a cliff in your trademark move, and seemed to have succeeded on your first trial. In an underground stream, following some fishies that Rayn had talked to, you continued to a place of respite, and Rayn briefly had a conversation with a coral-faced stranger underwater, who seemed to be, so far, a bit surprised but still entertained by the party's solutions. You came to a cave with a burned-out campfire, had some discussions about this entire situation here. Rebus was having some questions about this entire scenario, how it felt staged and scripted, and, well, there might be some truth to that. You left the cave and came to a strange outside place where you had on your left side a dark, gloomy forest, and on the right side, sunny plains, and were wondering which part to take in this what seemed to be a trial of wisdom. Before making any decisions, the party rather interrogated their guide Tantul because there were some concerns about the fact that he had not heard any voices in his head so far, and he had guided them here, so some members of the party put some question marks to his true motives. There was a little bit back and forth, which Rayn used to interrogate the place itself with reaching out with her mental powers to find any kind of intellect, and was blasted by a horrid vision and some psychic damage. After some more back and forth, the party still couldn't really decide if to go left through the forest or right through the woods, but Tantul decided to go left through the woods and was quickly followed by Delphine and Rayn through the woods, while Rebus and Dythun decided to go to the right across the sunny plains. And that's where we ended our session last time.
I just love that this was our trial of wisdom. And we decided, yes, let's split the party. That seems fine.
We are clearly very wise people.
Clearly.
Rayn likes it, which means you'll probably all dislike it.
Let us begin this split party scenario with our Warforged and Leonin adventurers. Dythun and Rebus. Both of you have moved away from your companions and set your feet on the sunny, rolling plains ahead of you. Weeds and grasses reach up to about your knees, and the sun brings a delightful, mild temperature onto you. A breeze rolls over to both of you, and you can hear birds singing in the sky, and a single lazy cloud in the shape of a person lying lazily on their side drifts across the sky. What do the two of you do while you wander this beautiful place?
You know, I wasn't really concerned about this pathway until that cloud. I don't know why that is unsettling to me.
Well, I assume it's just part of the scenery, right? Or the scenario.
I mean, yeah, but it's just like, what? Why?
Yeah, it's very deliberate, right? I agree with you. I don't like.
Are we
I haven't liked
supposed
it
to?
this whole time.
Did we take the easy path? Is that what this is saying?
To be
Should we
quite
turn back?
honest,
Can we?
I think we. Can we turn back?
If I look behind me, what's behind me?
Behind you is miles of rolling plains, weeds and grasses reaching to your knees, a beautiful sun shining down on you, and the cloud of this lazy person that you've been looking at, you actually see it now just lazily stretch its cloudy arms and go all spread eagle in the sky and just hover by.
Rebus, Rayn did make a telepathic connection with Rebus, and that's like for a
Yes.
few minutes now.
Yeah.
So just
How long does your telepathic connection last in total?
4 minutes. I don't know what time that's
Gotcha.
here, or
Gotcha.
4 miles.
And
but,
is there a distance limit?
miles? We're in
Miles.
Yep.
Okay.
No, I like 3 miles.
3 miles.
Yep. So at the this is going to be at the beginning. I recognize that.
All right.
Well, Rayn will feel like Rebus's emotions, just be like very startled and uneasy right now. Not straight up scared, but you know, there's some distress happening.
I wouldn't feel emotions though. I can only hear what you project back to me. I'm not in
okay.
your mind. We basically have a phone.
All right. Well, I look back with Dythun. Despite my very limited experience on this world, I think there might be no turning back sign.
You know, actually, for some reason, that's comforting because it makes us, you know, see through our choices. We can't sit here and deliberate. Oh, should we go back? Maybe we should have gone with the other. Well, no, we've made our choice. We're here now.
That's fair. After spending half an hour deliberating, I am quite relieved we can't go back on our decision, to be quite honest. I'm not so sure about the giant in the sky. It's very unsettling. I've never found something that was projecting one emotion and yet causing the complete opposite. That this is very new.
Oh, I mean, regardless, we have to move forward. So
Because we have some
basically
miles to
our
go.
only option.
As the two of you are having this conversation and talking about what you're going to do, both of you suddenly hear chewing sounds next to you. And unbeknownst to both of you, out of nowhere in your experience, a sheep has appeared. Fairly large, a lot of fluffy wool on it, and it is lazily chewing the grass around you. And as it notices that there's these two figures next to it, it's slowly, like, while it's chewing, lifts its head. Sup?
Greetings.
Greetings.
Are you from around here then?
Yeah.
Wonderful.
Would you know the way across
To where?
to anywhere, really?
Huh. Nah, not really. But, maybe Nago knows.
Excellent. Would you care to tell us where Nago is?
Not sure if I feel like it. Kind of a lazy day.
No.
Like that. Would there be anything we could do for you to convince you?
Pet me.
All right. Damien walks up, just like,
Giant lion petting a sheep. That's excellent.
You start petting the sheep.
yep.
Yes.
Can you give me a charisma saving throw?
Yeah, I'm great at this.
We're so good at charisma.
Charlie,
We're
can you
so
give me my-
excellent at charisma.
you
You
got
do
my
have
Xbox, please?
you do have cat advantage. If
I'm
you
probably
need
gonna
it.
use that.
That's not a bad idea.
Very accurately, Charlie is like laying in my dice box, like very lazily. Oh, that's 19 total.
And did you
I
use the
used
cat
the
die?
cat
for
advantage.
Rebus.
Then, oh, it was only Dythun who had to roll. Rebus didn't have to roll,
okay.
but Dythun had to roll that as he pets the. I wanted to say pet the cat, but pet the sheep. You start touching this fur, and you have never touched wool this soft. You keep just petting this sheep, and you feel relaxation coming over you. It's almost as if you suddenly realize, or if you start asking yourself the question, why am I even doing all of this if I could just be here in this serene landscape and just become a sheep herder? You feel compelled for now to keep petting the sheep.
With a 19? Interesting. Hey,
So I will
Rebus,
go-
you should pet this sheep. It's amazing.
You should. Wait. I told you the sheep. Is this okay? Would you? I don't know. We're very new here. We would love to have some guidance or anything we should check out. Is there anything pretty around here apart from rolling hills and green grass?
Everything's kind of pretty here. And before the sheep continues, it looks over to Dythun. And Dythun, as it looks over, you suddenly notice that these questions of like, yeah, why do I bother about all of stuff? Like you're petting the sheep, and you suddenly, as if someone else in your head reminds you, you're not here to pet a sheep. You're here for something else. And you realize, while you have been petting the sheep, where your hand has touched the sheep, you see like there are these, the color from your fur has faded, as if it's gone all pale. But you seem to snap out of it, and you no longer feel compelled to continue petting the sheep.
I look at his hand because I was about to pet the sheep because Dythun told me to.
Hey,
And then
don't
suddenly just
don't pet the sheep. Actually, that's maybe we shouldn't do that.
Okay.
I don't know. Seemed fine.
I want to see how soft it was.
No, it's not actually worth it.
Don't listen to him. Pet me.
Well, you didn't seem to want to give us any information anyway, so.
Yeah, you know,
as
I did
much
pet
as
you.
I would
Can
love
you-
to.
Where's the
What,
exchange?
one moment. He just quickly turns to a patch of grass, rips it out. And for about 30 seconds, the sheep just stares at the ground while chewing, and then looks back at you. Information is what you wanted, right? Like where to head, where to go.
Sure. Yeah.
Yeah. Nago can help. Let's I'll take you to Nago. So follow me. Oh, and don't move so fast. Enjoy the sunshine. It's good. And the sheep starts turning around and just very lazily goes like clop, 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 moving through the field.
Hey, Rebus. How flammable is sheep wool? Just out of
I
curiosity.
think reasonably flammable. Yes.
Okay, just checking.
And while you're pondering how easily sheep burn, you we move the scene over to the other half of our party, who did not enter serene plains with sunshine, but you followed Tantul, Delphine, and Rayn. You climbed over thick undergrowth and roots into a dark forest, where the trees seem to permanently lean into you, and the canopy of the trees is so woven into each other that hardly any light passes into this forest. Thick bushes with thorns and vines seem to reach for you, and with every step you hear ominous hoots and caws from the trees, and eyes of red, eyes of green and yellow stare at you from all angles.
And this is the point now, Rayn says out loud, where the scenery flips, right? We're rewarded for taking the tough side, and then it will be this beautiful heavenscape, and the other half of our party is going to be in this sort of less unwelcoming landscape, right? Now. Oh, you're no fun at all.
If you really want to have like a more welcoming path for you, then you can still go backwards and follow the offers.
Tantul looks around, checks his posture as he looks around in this haunted forest and says, "That is some beautiful, hopeful thought you have there, Rayn, but I'm afraid that our hosts don't feel inclined to give us such respite. But you mentioned that you heard these words of wisdom, right? These words that I don't seem to hear, and a thought that seems to anger some of your companions."
I mean, wisdom, schmizdom.
These trials that we undertake here, they are described in the legend of Mur'taal. These are the trials that he went through. And I must admit, so far, we seem to make a mockery of them. And I'm not sure how well our hosts will take to that.
At least one of them seemed entertained.
For now, I heard stories of the Fae to be very ever-changing in their opinion of things. What entertains them in one moment utterly bores them in the other.
I think we're a bit too concerned with how the Fae are entertained. I mean, my entertainment should matter just as much.
Well, please tell me, are you entertained?
I look around.
As you look around, Delphine and Rayn, can both of you give me a perception checks?
5.
I always forget what my plus to this is.
I know mine is
12.
0.
12. While Rayn, you're just thinking about, like, give an answer to Tantul's question. Delphine, you see in the undergrowth, there is something moving, and you hear the sound of a bowstring being pulled.
I'm taking out my gun like putting my hand on it and then quickly take it out and point it in the direction where I probably think I hear the bow, since it's like.
Rayn, you and Tantal see Delphine pull out her gun and point it in a direction. And as you do that, Delphine, all of you at this point hear this fling of an arrow flying through the air, but way past all of you. And then the sound of someone moving in between the bushes. Then the sound of what's probably a foot getting stuck in a root, followed by the sound of someone face planting on the ground, which is finally ended with the sound of someone saying, "Fuck!"
Is there still anything from the direction of the arrow, the bolt?
From the direction, from the direction that the arrow came,
Mm-hmm.
there's a bush, and that was also the direction from which you heard these sounds happening.
Ah, okay. I thought
after
that was
that.
the opposite sounds.
Yeah, I'm moving over there and looking what is in this bush.
You stride over there, look into the bush, and there's you have to lean down a little bit, Delphine, but there is an opening in between the leaves and twigs of the bush. And just a few feet away from you, you now see a goblin who is covered in what you can describe as kind of a camouflage outfit with leaves and twigs stuck to his shoulders. And he even has this, what probably used to be a frying pan on his head, but that is now also covered with leaves and twigs. And he has a bow that lies next to him, a quiver of arrows slung to his back, and a bandolier of makeshift shivs, like knives, on his chest. But these are carved out of wood, of bone. One of them is just a really sharpened kitchen knife. A lot of improvised weaponry on this one. And as you look in through the bush, he pulls out one of those knives, the extremely sharpened kitchen knife, points it at you. He's like, "No, you're not gonna take me. You're not gonna take me."
Okay.
So it doesn't look like a fake creature, so I guess they are just stuck here.
Stuck? I'm not stuck. No, no. No, I wouldn't be stuck. It's you. You must be stuck. Yeah.
Probably far too long in that area, so yeah.
No. I'm not. And he gets up, picks up his bow, looks a little bit more at you. You're not him, are you? He moves closer to you through the bush, and he's a goblin. He goes a little bit above your hip, Delphine, and he looks up at you. I have not seen you wear this ensemble. And then he just sniffs at you. No. You don't smell. You don't smell like him. No. What's it?
The tall one with the big broad shoulders and that shiny long weapon that he swung around.
Long weapon? He has an assortment. Sometimes he comes here with weapons. He doesn't have
What was
broad
his
shoulders.
last mood when you last saw him?
Last saw him. Oh, that must have been. Oh, how long has it been?
Doesn't matter. What was the mood like?
Oh, he was happy. Yeah. Very happy.
Oh.
Chased me. Yeah. He gave me a good chase. Said it was if I would survive, I would pass the trial. And I survived. I always survive. That's what I do. I survive. Others don't, but I survive. And you didn't have me pass the trial. Wait. Wait. And he comes out of the bush at this point, now just starts standing in between you, but he keeps pointing the kitchen knife at all of you. You're also here at trial, right? Hey, cut you out here. Cut you out of here. But when you're at this trial, it means you made it through the first trial.
Oh,
And
look, a genius.
Is this all of you? Is this you're complete. All of you look complete. You don't look torn. You made a choice. You made a choice. You made a choice. It's good. It's good. You should made a choice. It's part of the trial.
Does this seem like a very over-the-top acting, or is this like desperation and like happiness to see someone?
Give me an.
Are you being shady to Marcos for his acting?
I'm not using the character to
No,
Is that insight?
This is yeah, insight, please. This is a complete fair question considering the place that you are in.
Total 15.
Total 15. You get the sense that this is honest desperation. This is a person who is extremely wary. His entire attitude is that he is suspicious of everything. But there is also, especially at the end, there is a bit of joy and realization in that maybe he doesn't have to be suspicious of you lot.
What was the year when you started your trial? If you can still remember.
Must have been, I think. You're probably, you want to know with that fancy dangly calendar. Must have been about 977. It's about.
That's like 20 years ago?
Yeah.
Most likely.
Holy shit.
Wow.
Holy shit.
That's Ida, not the Rayn. She's like,
big oof.
all right. So, what matters to you most is perhaps getting out of here and not claiming whatever sort of reward is at the end, right? Because not everyone can have that.
Wait, what year is it now? What year is it now?
Not that one.
It's about like around 20 years later, a little bit more.
I came here to seek Mur'taal.
Mm-hmm.
And I passed the first trial. But then I thought too long about this one.
When you say you came to seek Mur'taal, who are you exactly?
That's an easy question. I'm, of course... Wait, I'm... Just call me Ogon.
All right.
Ogon.
So you're saying you dawdled on a decision and got stuck thereafter?
I did at least, but at the same time, I didn't. Which year is it now? What's the year now? How long have I been in here?
989.
Mm-hmm.
No, 98. Sorry.
Oh,
English.
oh, that's even worse. Oh my. Okay. Oh. All right. That's a me problem. That's something I need to figure out. But you still have a chance. Look, did you pick to go through the forest?
Yeah, definitely. That was a decision that we made by our free will.
I made a different decision.
What's important? There was no one who forced you to make a decision.
Looking to our companion.
I look to Delphine and I'm like, I didn't decide to follow any path. I followed who I wanted to follow, and I like smile at Delphine.
Totally ignoring Rayn.
Look, and he just lowers his knife and says, whatever you do, just stick to the path. Stick to the path. Follow deeper down into the dark forest. And don't doubt your choice.
Is there a path, actually? Did we follow a path?
There is a path if
so
you
dead.
consider a very thin trail that's winding and covered in roots and vines a path.
Well then, are you joining us or not? As Rayn pulls out a coin and just starts flipping it as she starts following the path.
As you ask that, all of you suddenly hear in the distance, echoing in the forest, the sound of a hunting horn. And Ogon freezes and follow you. The hunt is on. And he just puts his knife back into his bandolier and dives back into the bushes and crawls away from you.
Oh, a hunt. That means they're coming for us. That
Roll
means
for him.
That means something is coming nearby here. And when it makes itself known, that is the time to act. Rayn starts walking forward.
Tantul looks at you, Delphine. I didn't force you to make this choice. I made the choice for myself to go in here, and you chose to follow me. I didn't hold a knife to your throat. I mean, someone held their claws to mine, but it's a different topic. That didn't force me to go in here.
Well, next time you can go wherever you want. Don't count on anyone following you. So then I push him slightly so that that he is going forward in front, and I'm following on the back.
Alright. So the three of you walk deeper into the forest as one more time a hunting horn echoes through it. But that horn is not heard wherever Dythun and Rebus are.
You know, I was just thinking, we have like a sheep. Like, I wonder if the other two are like dealing with anything weird or bad. You think they're probably fine, right?
Just this within 4 minutes.
Rayn.
Hello. The connection's getting rather bad. This will not hold much longer.
Oh my god, it's still okay. Any sheep where you are? Talking
No.
sheep.
A talking sheep. Interesting. Maybe that's what
wait,
they're
Delphine,
hunting.
Oh, they're hunting? She says they're hunting.
Oh, they're hunting. In the forests?
And a goblin who has been stuck here for at least 20 years, apparently within the trial. Oh, that's right. The individual I talked to did say there would be other corpses around. I guess this one is not corpseified yet. How are you doing?
Uh-huh. We're fine. guided to.
What was the name of the person we were guided to?
Nago.
Nago.
Nago. Right.
We're being guided to Nago. Whatever that is, because that seemed as good an option as anything else. Since it's just.
I will share
flowing
one
fields.
last bit of information. Thank you for this name. The poor confused individual here did have one piece of advice I am loath to believe as the connection. I feel it drilling. Make a decision and stand by it. Don't falter.
While you say that, Rayn, both of you, Rayn and Rebus, you hear there's a brief static in the connection, and then almost a sound as if someone is like tapping a microphone to check if it's working. And you hear a third voice in here. Oh, this kind of sorcery. Distances are so weird here. Would you rather not do this? Well, okay, thank you. Good luck on the trial. And then again, the static sound and the third voice vanishes.
I'd rather do this. As after the thing. Did Rayn recognize this voice?
Yes, you totally did recognize the voice.
Was that you, Miss Rayn? Why are there
No, that-
so many voices?
Oh no, that was the individual I met in the water after we jumped down the cliff.
Oh, so you know this person. I guess they're not happy with us sharing information. Thank you so much, though. I guess we'll just talk when we're on the other side. I say, looking around me to like never-ending field.
Well,
Good luck. Don't get hunted.
good luck. Try some lamb chops.
I feel like Dythun would enjoy that. And I guess as the connection fades, I turn to Dythun. So, Mr. Dythun, we may have a problem. So there's a person who has been trapped in here for 20 years. Rayn told me. Running away from a hunt, apparently. And there are more corpses to be found on the way. Presumably of other people who have been trapped here for much, much longer. She said not to falter on our decisions. Which I'm afraid we might have done already, but from now on.
Oh, I mean, I
And
wasn't worried about the decision. I just looked behind to be like, what's back there? I wasn't gonna go back. No, I mean, I was just curious. I figured, you know, as these trials have gone, I was curious if the path was there. And it's not, which is great. I don't know how magic works, but I had a feeling it would be that.
yeah, I also had a feeling.
Oh,
Also,
hey.
it just
Sheep, are you, what is your name?
We're here, the sheep says.
Nice
Not-
to meet you, we're here. My
Sheep.
name is Dythun.
Sheep looks over its fluffy shoulder. Ha, ha. No, I meant we're here. And
Oh,
you're pretty sure you didn't see this on your approach, but suddenly in front of you is a large farmhouse with a nice, beautiful roof, a beautiful hedge around it, fields around it, and an entire field full of these larger, floofy sheep. And we're here moves over to the other sheep, and we're here saying, "Sup," and the other sheep go, "Sup, sup, sup, sup," and then they keep chewing on their grass, while
beautiful creatures.
while coming out of the house, you see a goblin stepping out of the farmhouse. He's wearing very simple clothing. Has a bit of a stubble along his cheek. Hair to his shoulders. With the hair itself is very well kept, very shining and glossy. And he has a little bit of a belly, but he comes out, hands in his pockets, sees that one of his sheep is back, smiles at the fact that he has a herd of sheep that say sup to each other, and then looks to the new arrivals. And he smiles. Ah! More people. I say. It's been a while since I had visitors.
Greetings. Are you Nago?
The one and only, I would say, if it was true that I was the one and only. But here, I am the one and only. You look hungry. You want to come inside?
Actually, we're in a bit of a rush. We have some
Rush?
friends to meet.
You're in a rush?
Well, not
And
us personally, but our friends are. So
As
it
you-
would be
as you
rude to
say-
make them wait.
as you say that you're in a rush, there's still this one cloud in the sky, the one that had stretched out and everything. And you notice that cloud is now changing its position as if it's like getting up and is scowling at you as you say that you're in a rush.
Sorry, cloud, that entity. But it's true. It would be very rude of us to not meet our friends when we're supposed to. And I feel like they might have a speedier time over the path that they chose.
Oh, what path did they choose?
Sadly, a very dark and dangerous looking forest.
Oh, my fluffy sheep. That is... I am sorry to hear that. You, come in, and I'll tell you over a good... What time is it? A good brunch. I tell you more about it. Come inside.
Brunch?
Okay.
I mean, it would be rude to not at least accept the hospitality.
That's fair. I guess we came here to talk to you, so I walk inside.
Right. Both of you follow Nago in, and a pleasant, warm smell fills your nose. This place has this aroma of freshly plucked lavender, and you can actually see these little bushes of lavender all over the interior. But it mingles with the smell of a stew that is currently boiling over a fire, and also that smell of wood burning in the hearth. You can even hear it this delightful sound of wood cracking in the hearth. The ceiling here is a little bit low, so probably both of you have to duck a little bit as you get inside. But everything in here is made of this comfy-looking wood and furs covering the furniture. And close to the hearth is this rocking chair in which currently sits a long-furred cat that sits up and is looking at the new entries here. And Nago moves over to the stew, and the cat, while Nago moves past the cat just jumps out of the chair and moves to the other side of the room. Nago takes 2 bowls and fills them with some stew and puts them on a table in the center of the room, inviting both of you to sit down, as he takes an empty chair and sits in it as well. I could use a little break. I already had a very tough morning. You see, I woke up just a few hours after dawn, and I did the most exhausting thing. I got dressed today. Fairly exhausting to do.
It can be.
I think I wouldn't know. I'm new to clothing, so. But again, dear host, you're very generous. We're very, very happy to be here, but I'm afraid we are somewhat in a hurry.
I understand that. I understand it, but please first sit down first. Come, have a spoonful of my stew.
I don't mean to be rude, but I don't consume organic matter. I'll happily sit at the table for a bit with you. We can chat about your sheep and how long you've been living here. But would you mind pointing us in the direction towards the outside? The outside? I look at
Rebus, can you give me a persuasion check?
I can try. God, I'm so bad at all of these. Natural 20! 4 and 19.
Wonderful.
Perfect. Wonderful indeed.
Rebus, not the most charismatic person.
You say all that, and you see Nago looking at you for a moment. And you're pretty sure that the fire in the hearth got a bit dimmer for a moment. But then it lights up again. And the chair that's meant for you seems to move by itself back from the table to make some room. And Nago just pats his hand on it. Come then, sit, and we'll have a conversation. I just don't like people standing around.
You know, if it's... I'll, like, put my hand on Rebus's shoulder. If it's all the same to you, we both... Well, my friend here doesn't eat. I had a very large breakfast. Nice lamb stew. I don't want to rush you by any means. Take your time. But we are in the process of going somewhere. And I don't think we need to be stopping and having a chat.
You remind me of how I was. Yes. When I came here, I was also in such a rush. Wanted to go somewhere. But then there was this
There happened to have been
this choice I had to make. And I didn't want to make it, so I decided to no longer be in a rush. And then I found this beautiful place. It is quite beautiful, isn't it? I have all I need here. Sun, friendly cloud in the sky, my sheep, everything I ever wanted. And see, it doesn't pay off to be in a rush. Just sit down.
Did Rayn tell Rebus the name of the goblin that they found in the forest? Yes, right? What was it?
Ogan, that we know of.
Ogan. Right.
But if you happen to know a goblin named Ogan.
As you say that, Rebus Rebus and Dythun, both of you see that the light in here gets very low. The fire in the hearth almost burns out. And at the place where you first saw the rocking chair, you see a kind of, there's this marionette standing there, which is covered in an old armor and weapons attached to it. And you see Nago just keeps looking at you and has this, makes this laughter. And he says, maybe you should be going then. And never mention this name again.
I apologize. I didn't mean to distress you.
No, of course you didn't mean to. Of course you don't need to. No, no one ever means to. No one ever means to be rude. No one ever means to rush. But all they do is rush and be impatient and leave before they should leave. So how about you go do that, huh? Go and leave.
I'm gonna look at the marionette. Is it still there?
It's there, yeah. Standing
Like how
eerily still.
How big is it?
Is it
Like,
like,
is it like
The size of a goblin. It's the size.
okay? Is it like a? Is it more like a mannequin?
Yeah,
Or like is
I
it
think
on strings?
it is. I think I meant more like a mannequin.
Okay,
That
okay.
paints a more accurate picture of it. It's a mannequin.
is it like
and-
made of wood?
Right.
Is it
Somehow
made of
it's
wood or
worse.
is it made of like body parts? Like,
It's, from what you can
I
tell,
need more visual explanation.
from what you can tell in this situation, it seems to be made out of wood.
Okay.
Unless you are interested to closer inspect it.
Well, I was gonna walk over to it.
So
Let's go.
you just, Dythun, you go over to it?
Mm-hmm.
Right. You do that while Nago is just completely focused on Rebus. And it almost seems, as he's so angry, it looks as if Nago has grown by, like, almost a feet at this point. Dythun, you walk over to the armor. Can you give me a charisma saving throw, please?
Love these. 16.
16. You walk over to it, and you hear a voice coming from the armor that is resting on the mannequin. You hear these whispers, which you can identify as goblin because you still have your choker on. And you hear this voice saying,
Cat color.
this voice saying,
Anytime I hear a goblin, it goes ding 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 ding. ding.
you take 2d6, no.
I'll take it. I'll take it.
You hear a voice going, and it says in Goblin, I'm sure that I will come back. Surely will. And then there's a cacophony of other voices. You can't distinguish what they're saying. And there's again that same voice going, that was easy. That shouldn't be too hard further on. Another cacophony of voices, and then another sentence from that voice. But I have to make a choice here. Left or right? Going deeper into... No. There must be a trick to it. This seems too easy. Too easy, too simple. I need to think further. Think. And then just that word think keeps echoing. And then finally you hear a voice that comes from... that is not in Goblin. That seems to be in Common. And it is a very gentle it has a bit of a gentle tone to it, but you get the idea that it's insinuating something sinister as it speaks. And it says, well then, if you can choose, I'll just have you go both ways. And that's where it ends. And while you moved over there, Rebus, Nago is now just, at this point, the entire room around you seems to have warped in dimensions. The low ceiling seems to have bulged upwards. And Nago is now just towering over you. This oversized goblin looking at you. And he just says, just go! Leave! Rush, rush, rush!
Is there a weapon with this mannequin?
There is. There is a spear with the weapon.
I think he's
with the
gonna grab the spear. Look, it's like, is from my perspective, is Nago no.
From your
Yes,
perspective,
Nago.
from your perspective, Nago is also towering over Rebus now.
Dythun's gonna start walking towards the door and grabbing, like, kind of like wrapping around Rebus, like, let's go.
Well, I don't believe we're at fault here. I apologize, but I did.
Hey,
You
Nago.
we were travelers in need, and you refused to help us. And I just don't know. I'm
He's
very
gonna hold the
tired.
spear, toss it towards the goblin. Get your shit together. Just walk out the door.
And do you walk alone, or do you try to get Rebus with
I mean,
you
I'm
as
like
well?
bringing. I'm like, come on.
I'm just very
Let's go.
confused, but I walk out.
It's like
Both
trying to
of
get
you-
your like friend to leave the party. Like, nope, come on, we're going. Come on.
Both of you go out of the farmhouse, and the moment you're out, the door slams behind you. The single cloud in the sky has turned into a dark, stormy cloud. Just a stormy face, angry peering down at you. Lightning and thunder coming out of it. And all the sheep outside, all of them frown at you.
So,
Well, that's a change.
Stop.
Sure.
so
They do not honor you with a sup. And what do you do now that you're outside in this thunderstorm?
I say
No.
let's continue.
I know. Rebus, what did you say? The other name of the other goblin was? You said Rayn told you a name.
Yes, it was
Ogan.
Ogan. I was like, Onag, Ogan? Ogan. Why?
I'm not good with names. We know this.
You're my friend, but I have
They-
to agree. Yes.
Okay, so the mannequin, I approached it, I heard these voices. I
The
think
mannequin?
it was. Did you not see a mannequin?
I'm sorry, I wasn't taking in the room. I was worried about the.
There was a weird
I didn't
mannequin
think it-
thing. I think it was Nago's armor or something. Maybe he like put it away on the side. I
Right.
think I heard someone going through the trials. I heard them saying like, "Oh, that's it.
Someone
Oh,
else.
that was easy." and then coming to a decision, like left or right, the forest, or something like that. They said they couldn't make a decision, so something made a decision for them, and that it chose both.
They were just one person.
I think that was half a person. I've never met a half goblin before, but I think that was a half a goblin. So
Makes a lot of sense. Oh, I pity that poor fool.
Ogon and Naga, they're the name backwards. It's quite strange.
You're correct. Do you think we can help him? Help them?
This would be a wonderful story for Turning Tools. He'd love this. Look, we just need to keep going forward. Let's just make our decisions. Let's not waver.
Right. Wait, can we ask if Nago Ogan wants to be helped? Because maybe he's given up on hope, and that's why he was so reluctant. I'm gonna ask. Oh,
I wouldn't
right
go
back.
in
I'll
there.
Go to the door.
You go.
I kicked the door. Hey, do you need help? Do you want our help? We can take you out of here.
Do you open the door as you do that?
Yeah, I kick in the door just before I leave.
Do you want some help?
You open the door in this fashion, and the room inside has none of the charm it had when you first entered. The fire in the hearth must have been out for a long time. The lavender is dead, and nothing of its aroma lingers here. You see, huddled in a corner of a room that is covered in dust and cobwebs, small goblin hugging a long-haired cat. He just glares daggers at you as you enter. And he says, "Get out! Rush, rush, rush!"
I know what I said, but like I thought I would offer. Do you want to get out of here?
Can you give me an insight check?
I mean, Rayn offered the other half before she had this information.
Natural 1 for a total of natural 1. Yes. Excellent.
The goblin just looks at you with anger in his eyes, even as you offer him help.
You know what? It's the decision-making time. I'm not asking you again, and I'm gonna try and like scoop him up and like literally carry him and his cat with me out the door.
Rebus, can you give me a charisma saving throw, please?
Yes. Oh, okay. That's not terrible, actually. Well, I have a -1 in charisma, so 15.
You stride across the room, pick up the goblin and his cat, and he whimpers some form of protest to you, but at the same time, you've been you've been lifting people up who didn't want to be lifted up, but this person is hardly putting up any resistance. So they're protesting, but you're just like, whoop, really pulling them up there over your shoulder. And as you turn around, you see standing in this room of cobwebbed and dust is a radiant figure dressed in silks with long hair that glows as if the sun itself has entered the room. And you hear that person just saying, "What do you think you are doing?"
I'm making my decisions. I thought that... Isn't this a story? Is this not
Oh.
the correct story that you
Oh,
would
I
love to
see.
see? Isn't this interesting enough?
Oh, wow. Such panache. Isn't this interesting enough? Huh. Well, I have to give that to you. It is kind of interesting. But talking about making choices, have you ever considered that this whimpering worm has never made a choice in his life? And that you are now kind of forcing a choice on him?
Well, I mean, to be quite fair, he seems quite miserable here and not actually wanting to stay. So, you know, he can always come back if he so wishes to.
What? I am so sorry that I have to put it this way, but is that metal can of yours empty? Because apparently you are...
Can't you see into it? Now let me do the story so we can, you know, entertain the audience.
And he like looks around as if there's someone behind him, but there's no one else in here. And
Can I hear and see all of this from outside?
for you from outside, it's as if Rebus has stepped into the room and you can't hear anything.
Yeah.
And the figure looks at you. And he steps closer. And with every step he takes, the dust around him gets kicked up in the air by an invisible breeze. And all these dust motes, as they are kicked up, they change into glitter and dance around him as he moves. He looks at you, toe to head. Oh, so there's a story you want to tell?
Yeah, for once I would like to choose what I'm doing, thank you.
And he just like gently, as you bow, he just gently pets your head. And as he does that, you take 5 points of psychic damage from that. And
Can I catch the hand?
give me an athletics check. You still take the psychic damage, but you can give me an athletics check to see if you can catch the hand.
Fuck, that was so bad. Why do you do me this? 8.
8. Like
It
you
was
just
a 3. Like,
you barely
I
miss
still
it as he
love you
pulls it
today.
away.
it just
Go ahead. And he steps to the side, gestures to the door. Go and tell your story.
I will. Thank you. Goodbye forever now. And I just stomp out, and I go past Dythun, and I'm just like, okay, we're leaving now.
And you see,
And continue.
you see Rebus coming out with on their shoulder the goblin and the cat, and they're just stomping out of the house.
I just
And
like
as-
let them take a few strides away.
As you let Rebus take a few strides away, you, Dythun, see that the farmhouse is starting to collapse. The ceiling is just starting to crash in on itself, and the sheep are just carefully moving away from it.
Hey, Rebus. I think we came from that way. I don't know if it matters, because things just sort of show up, but we did come from that way. I think we need to go
Did we
this.
actually?
Yeah, we walked up to the house. You're walking back away from the house.
Am I walking towards the cloud person as we were before?
As you have this
Yeah.
conversation, the entire farmhouse and the sheep have vanished at this point. There is now just an angry cloud in the sky looking down at you.
Oh, well, no,
I don't think it matters.
I don't
No.
think it. As long as we're moving, I think that's the important bit. But, hey, I didn't want to be the one to accidentally walk backwards and make them think we weren't making up. It's whatever, it's fine, let's go.
And the two of you, with a new friend in tow, walk away.
Friend? Prisoner?
But meanwhile,
Prisoner, absolutely prisoner.
Mm-hmm.
in the dark forest, Delphine, Rayn, and Tantul have continued their path on. And since you've had this little encounter with Ogun, you have heard a few times the echoing of this hunting horn in the forest, but the sound did not seem to come closer to you. You also heard the baying of and barking of hounds that seemed to accompany the hunting horn. And you are on this very narrow path. You have to dodge roots and vines, and at some places you're pretty sure that the twig of a tree was just like trying to reach out to you and grab you by the collar, which you have to dodge out of. But you're carefully and steadily making your way onwards. Tantul is like sometimes using his scimitar to push some of the plants back, and at one point he says, "You think that might happen to us? Like this getting stuck in here?"
I don't plan on it. So, no.
That's how you go through life, right? You just make up your mind and then you do it.
Yes, actually.
Is
Looking
this-
to Tantul and just nodding.
I am exactly what I am as what you see. I pretend to be nothing else. It's rather
Well,
liberating.
Except at one time you took on a different shape and I took you shopping.
Yes. I chose to do that.
Seems like a very liberating way to live, he says as he
Yes.
pushes back a branch. Okay, well, maybe that's also what we need here. That's also part of wisdom, isn't it? Making a choice, sticking to it, and just being very firm in what you do.
I've never thought of that as wisdom. And if that's what if that's what calls for wisdom here, then maybe I'd love to take people out for a drink after this is all said and done, because we'd be good friends, but not necessarily the right people to teach to the choir necessarily, so to say.
Tantul chuckles at that. I would indeed not count the inhabitants of this plane as the right people to teach anyone about something good. So maybe this is indeed their version of honor. Of wisdom.
Oh well.
Well, wisdom seems to have quite different interpretations depending on who is setting it.
Then, Delphine, what would you consider wisdom?
How should I know?
I don't know. Maybe you do have some interesting insights into life. What do you think is wisdom in this situation that we're in a haunted forest where we are maybe stalked by a hunting party and hounds that want our flesh?
So the big thing here is maybe we are hunted, maybe we are not, maybe this Ugan person is getting hunted. We are just here following the path, checking if we are still following the path. And
You are still
Yes.
following the path.
yeah, so in the end, what we need to do here right now is getting out of this forest. And I actually don't care if we are getting followed by something, anything, or whatever, as long as we're making it out.
Huh. And Tanto stops for a moment and looks at the two of you. Two of you have a very different approach to things, don't you?
Well, we are not the same person.
I'm sorry, I did not want to imply that. I think both of you are very unique individuals. I just made an observation. I find it sometimes fascinating what kind of personalities are attracted to the adventuring life.
Considering the other people in our party, me too.
You should. And he, as he begins sentences, there's like this vine that wants to lash out at him, but he like dodges away from it, and the vine just goes like goes back with a hissing sound.
Rayn like turns to scold at the branch. Don't do snake noises. That triggers him.
You the snake just the vine just nods at you like, and then moves away. Tantul gives you a quick side glare at that remark, but then continues the sentence. What I was about to say, you should be happy with these people you travel with. Well, maybe not the Leonin. He seems a little bit impulsive.
That's one of their best qualities.
I would, under some circumstances, agree with that. Not under all of them, but I was a little bit concerned for my life back there. He has quite the grip on the throat.
Communication isn't always their strongest standpoint. It's mode of action. If you like, maybe we can have a little better understanding after this is all said and done, but we have certain priorities right now.
And as you say that, Rayn, that you have priorities, you notice that the path ahead of you has now suddenly led you into this clearing in the forest, which is illuminated by an eerie silver moonlight that breaks through the woven canopy. And as you just stumble onto it, because you surely didn't see this clearing as you went over the path, you hear the sound of a horse crashing through the growth, breaking into this clearing as it's chasing a small goblin wearing camouflage and a frying pan, and the horse knocks the goblin down to the ground, and the goblin now lies in the middle of the clearing, and the horse towers over it, and on the back of the horse is this tall, radiant figure dressed in an elegant hunting cloak with a tricorn on his head and his radiant hair braided down along his back. He has
Thunderclap.
Thunderclap.
The horse is there. I want to spook that horse.
Thunderclap. Thunderclap with the intention of spooking the horse.
Yep.
So you just use this spell to make this loud snapping sound. I'm actually going to roll for the rider to make an animal handling check to see if they can keep the horse under control.
Like it's the same attitude which she scolded the pledge. It's like, don't do that. Oh, horsey, don't do that.
And
like there's no genuine concern. It's just like, no.
Almost like a kindergarten teacher. And you slap your hand for the thundercloud spell. The sound crashes out of you. The horse does startle, rearing upwards, and the rider just clings onto his saddle and slides off of it and is about to just fall without any sign of grace onto the ground. But before the rider hits the ground, the horse runs back off of the clearing, and the rider just stops mid-air, hovering, and then just moves himself upwards and floats down to the ground, landing next to the goblin. Well, well, well. Here is the other half. I have to say, it has been a while since there were petitioners that decided to split their group over both sides in the trial. Fascinating approach, I must say. Wonder if it pays off for you. I haven't decided on that yet. What I did have decided on is that I need your assistance.
And what?
Oh, it's actually a very simple matter. And as he says that, he has his back to the goblin, to the goblin, Ogun, as you can see, who gets up on his feet and tries to run away. But the gentleman just lifts one hand, makes a gesture, and Ogun just trips to the ground again. I'm at a bit of a, how do you say? I'm a bit of a, at an impasse in what I am supposed to do. And since we are in a trial here, I wonder if you can help me with your wisdom. This little fellow over here, he's been with me for a while. Fairly entertaining. But I'm dealing with the problem that the other half of whatever you people are, a party, a family, a group, a collective, a community. You mortals have all these fancy words for nonsense. Whatever you are, the other half of you, messed up the other half of this one. Out of the play, out of the scene they're in, and what use do I have for this half if I don't have the other half?
I mean, it looks like you can fix most of everything. And Rayn is going to float up a bit, like let's say 1 meter, 3 feet off the ground. And she's going to angle her body exactly the way the rider did falling off, hang there at an angle. And just like the rider did, re-tilt herself back up, like mimicking the movement they did.
What a beautiful trick. Looks pathetic on you, looks better on me, but it's...
We can agree to disagree.
I see. Well, what we should agree on is what I should do with this little fellow. I was thinking... I could set him free. It's in my power. Or I could keep chasing him around these woods whenever I wanted to.
Why should we care?
Ah, now that is what I find interesting, because why should you care, indeed? But that makes this choice more interesting. Tell me, what would you think? What do you decide? Should I set him free? Or should I keep him in my woods?
We have to decide for you. Sounds like you can't come to a decision.
Oh, you're getting to the irony of the matter, don't you? Tell me, do you have any ancestry from my realm? Was there ever do you know of any kind of parentage or grandparents that took a little trip into my realms and might have some of my blood in them? Oh, no, that is very unlikely. I know what you have in you, and it doesn't play that well with what I have in me. Mur'taal agrees, by the way. Oh, he is pissed.
Does
but
anyone hear this strange noise? Like, it sounds as if there's something rustling in the wind, but I can't make it out.
Oh, I turn around to Delphine. Oh, it's monologuing.
Oh yeah, exactly. That's what it is.
Okay. Ogan,
Shall we
you keep
go
doing
on?
you. Yeah. Ogan, you
Yeah.
keep doing you. If you need us, let us know.
what should I do with Ogon?
It's your to decide. Chase him, set him free, kill him, whatever. Why? We don't care about this being.
And it's Ogan's decision to either go with what you want to do or fight back.
And Tantul runs in. Wait. Are you honestly saying that you don't care? Oh, apparently this poor fellow has been stuck here for.
Tantul. I care about this goblin way less than I even care about you, and I don't really care about you at all.
Tantul crosses his arms. I think you should let him go. I think you should set him free. He's suffered long enough.
Yeah, then you do you. Tell this lighthouse what you think about the situation. We're going. And I'm taking Rayn's hand and pull her with me.
Okay, bye. Because
And you
Rayn
just-
is like, I'm being
Marcus,
pulled
I am
across
so
the
sorry.
field by Delphine, and she's like, ah.
And you just walk away from the scene out of the clearing.
Yeah, following the next step of the path. There's probably somewhere there.
As you do that, you move for a few minutes, and at first you think that Tantul isn't following. But after a while you hear steps, fast, quick steps behind you, and Tantul runs after you, his breath.
Oh, hi.
You...
Did he let him
but-
go in the end?
No,
So then what did it
because-
matter?
both of you said you didn't care for it. I said he should be let go. So apparently your votes there were 2 votes for not caring and 1 vote for letting him go. So this poor goblin is now still stuck in here.
But that poor goblin is making an active effort. This poor goblin is fighting back. It would kind of rather invalidate that goblin's decision for us to suddenly remove all the obstacles and just,
Well, from what I gather from him, he got into this problem because he couldn't make decisions. Maybe sometimes someone has to make a decision for him.
Yeah, sometimes people are making decisions for you that you don't want to take, and sometimes you can do your own decisions. So apparently, he wasn't able to do his own decision at the beginning, so someone else did it for him.
and now, at least when we talked to him previously, made the decision to fight. And they're gonna keep doing it. Well, that'd be nice if they would. I mean,
So I don't think that we're in the position here right now to keep deciding on what shall happen with this goblin. We are just outsiders of this. It's not like if we're having any kind of relationship to them or this other person that was keeping it.
Can both of you give me separate persuasion checks, please?
persuasion.
Oh,
Yum. Oh no.
persuasion? Am I good at persuasion?
I am, but I
yeah,
rolled
okay.
poorly.
Okay. Oh, not 20 or 24.
Oh, thank God. I rolled a total 10. I have a plus
Total
5 to my persuasion.
Hmm.
These new dice are totally blessed.
Delphine, you finish what you're saying to Tantul, and you just see he understands what you're saying, but he really doesn't agree with it, but he also cannot at this point disagree with your explanation. He shakes his head, and Ren just says, we'll talk about this later, and let's just get on with it.
Mm-hmm.
And the three of you also move on, as the two in the other half move on. And imagine as if we're looking at this scene in a kind of split screen. On one side, we see the party that goes through the dark forest, and on the other side, we see those that went over the fields, now with a goblin and a cat on their shoulder. And we see both of these parties move towards the camera. And this split screen is currently still split by a black bar in the middle. But at one point, as you trudge, both parties move closer towards the camera, the black bar in the middle is removed slowly from the screen. And both of you step out of your respective halves. And you can see each other again. And ahead of you, behind you are just these halves of various terrain that you moved on. And ahead of you is just this thick, all-covering fog. But all of you are back together here. And how that's going to turn out, we're going to see after we take a little break for today. So we're just going to go on a little 10-minute break. We'll be back in approximately 10 minutes to see how the party continues through this Manifesto of Fettleness. Hang in there, get yourself some drinks, get some snacks, take your mats, stretch your legs, and we'll be back in 10.
Toodles!
And we are back. This was a quick little break, and we're going back into the second half of our adventure. Before we continue with today's session numero 29, thanks to everyone who's joining us in chat today, and thanks to everyone who is also watching along. We appreciate everyone coming in here to join us have a lot of fun on this silly and great adventure we're having here. If you like what you're seeing here, we would be very honored if you would follow us here on Twitch, or if you have the capabilities to do so, drop us a sub on our Twitch, which helps the channel, helps what we're doing here. And yeah.
And it keeps the stream ad-free for you, since we all noticed today, like, Twitch changed some stuff with the ads, and it's annoying as fuck.
Exactly. Also, if you just want to keep tabs on what we're doing, you can find us on our socials at Twitter and on our Discord server. Links down below the chat. Feel free to follow us there, join our chat, talk with us, share the pictures of your pets and other funny stuff. And on our Twitter, you can always find when we're about to go live and keep tabs on whatever other projects we run on this channel. Also, if you're joining us today on session number 29 and you're wondering what we've been doing for the first 28 sessions of this game, you can find all the VODs of them and all the VODs of all the other cool stuff we do on this channel on our YouTube channel. Ida, what's exactly again the address of our YouTube channel?
It is youtube.com. Ready for it, everyone? /Horde of Tales.
/ Horde of Tales. So youtube.com/Horde of Tales. Thank you for leading the DAP squad on that, Ida. And I think that's all of it for now. How about we go back to a party that has now been reunited outside of either a dark forest or a beautiful sunny plain. Delphine and Rayn stepping out with Tantul out of the forest, and Dythun and Rebus coming off of the sunny rolling plains with a goblin and a cat on Rebus' shoulder. What would you like to do?
I see you all survived.
I see you picked up a stray cat.
Literally.
Well-
Is this a newfangled sort of fey cat? And I pointed at the goblin.
It's a long story.
Well, we can walk and talk.
Honestly, sounds excellent. Did you bring your little friend with you?
This wasn't our friend, so no.
The goblin you told me about.
Hmm.
You see them here?
I invited
Well,
them, and they decided not to come with us.
Well, that's a decision.
Uh,
Did you hear that? That's a decision.
Yeah, you hear the goblin on your shoulder. Would you be so kind to put me down?
Yes, of
you know,
course. Of course.
Funny enough,
in the
this
process
one
of-
decided not to come with us also, yet, here they are.
And
Really?
the goblin is put down by Rebus and holds onto his cat. And what Dythun and Rebus would notice at this point is that the goblin looks quite a bit older than he looked when you met him in his house. And the cat seems to be larger than it was in the house. And the fur is a bit shorter and has gone completely black. And all of you notice that as the goblin stands there now on the ground, he puts the cat down, and the cat slowly grows into this full panther that is now standing next to the goblin, looks at him, and just licks his face one time. And the goblin, whose hair looks now older and a bit wiry, no longer having that sheen and glow that it had before, just quickly pets the panther. I'm on the other side. Oh.
Well, if my calculations are correct, dear hostage, I'm sorry. Half
That's
of you
okay.
is on the other side.
Yes, and he looks over, turns around, and he sees the dark forest looming. I must still be in there.
Oh. Well, they're fighting. They don't seem to be resigned to their fate, but they're making a good effort.
That's good to hear about me. How do you know that?
We've been in there. Met your other half.
Didn't do a good job of trying to stab us, but a valiant attempt nonetheless.
Oh. Well then, I think I should go and help myself then.
Good.
Sounds like a wonderful quest. I fully support it.
Come on, Kina. He calls over to the panther, and you hear like this low pleased growl coming out, and the goblin Nago just pulls himself up on the side of Kina the panther, and on the back of this graceful cat, the goblin and the panther leap into the dark forest.
We'll see you at the end.
I turn to the cloud, wherever the cloud man was, and if there's no cloud man, I'll just turn to like the sky and be like, and so once we're done here, you have another story to continue enjoying. You're welcome.
All of you can see on the side of the field where Rebus and Dythun came from, you see there's this one cloud dangling in the sky, which is now taken on the shape of a man that has his arms crossed in front of his chest and is just glaring at you while is floating away in the sky.
Rebus, did you just angrily yell at a cloud?
I think I thought only old people are doing that.
Well, since I don't exactly know how old I am, I'm going to say I am entitled to it.
I
The matter
merely
got a bit on my
wanted to.
nerves.
You have nerves that were touched upon, and you acted on them and you vocalized what you were displeased about. Good for you. I continue walking.
You guys did. Continue after her.
Yeah, we're continuing walking. Wherever.
Rayn is there. Good for them. Good. Walk, walk, walk.
And the 5 of you do continue on, which means that you do walk into this thick mist that seems to cover everything. Only thing you know for sure is that there's ground underneath your feet. Cold rock that has some jagged edges to it. And sometimes you need to be careful where you step because some of these rocks are fairly sharp. They stick out and they feel uncomfortable underneath your feet. But you can't see really much through this fog. Until at one point, you can see in the distance the outlines of what looks like a mountain. And the fog slowly starts clearing, and more of the range before you becomes visible. There is indeed a mountain range ahead. Gray slate stone, and on the tops of the mountains, just a little blanket of snow. Carved out of this stone, however, the main attraction of what you see before you is a fortress, which seems as if it was almost as if it was grown out of the very mountain. A thick wall with large towers on each corner and banners floating from the walls, dancing in the wind. Leading up to this fortress is a winding path through the mountains, illuminated by torches that now burst into flame one by one as you move ahead towards it.
Oh, historian.
As you say that, you notice that Tantul is just is completely enraptured by what he's seeing, and he has his notebook out and he is making notes. He's making quick sketches. He's not paying attention to you. He's just fully in historian mode at this
Did I give him back the notebook?
This is back
That's
up.
actually there's actually a fair point. I'm not sure if you did.
No, I actually didn't because I wanted
If
to
you
read on
didn't,
it.
he's not scribbling in his notebook. He has found some pages of parchment in his backpack and he's scribbling away on them.
Can I read in the notebook while we were walking?
You could,
Yes, yes, yes,
Do
yes,
you-
yes.
but you don't.
Calling
You
goblin.
don't. You don't speak and read Goblin, so
But someone here does. Why?
Give it to the cat.
No.
Cat?
No.
I mean,
Just
Did you
Delphine
take
going
it?
like,
Looking up there if there are some pictures.
there are pictures in there. There's like drawings and sketches and like of plans and buildings, but they're nice sketches, I guess. But not much more.
Hey, look, Delphine got educated quite well when she was younger, so she knows how to read.
Well,
At least some languages.
At least some languages, yeah. Tantul looks at it and is like, This is amazing.
But is it familiar? Does it resonate with some history
yeah.
or something?
This architecture, this way that the fortress blends with the mountain range. This is high culture Dakani style. This is from the era that Mur'taal was from.
Okay.
There's
You want to come?
yeah.
Keep up then.
I just wanted to say, if you ever find yourself, if you have some time off and you want to see something beautiful in the Seawall Mountains, there are actually similar ruins to this that you can still find in the Seawall Mountains. They're very interesting to see.
Oh. Well, then we'll need to finish what we're doing here in order to see those as well.
Sure. And he turns to the rest of you. I mean, that's an invitation to all of you. If you ever want a guided tour there, I could give you that.
That was worth considering. Sounds like a lovely evening out. Need some nice mountains. Delphine? No?
I'm not a fan of mountains.
Even with
Too much
tokens?
climbing.
Interesting.
I must admit, it has been easier to go on a mountain from the top to the bottom than the other way around. You seem to extend and falling.
That's very true.
Continue up the path.
You continue up, and while you have this conversation with Tantu, all of you hear again a word in your head.
Bah.
All of you hear the same word this time. You hear honor in your head. And then after a while, you hear again honor. And that's
With the
it.
question mark?
Yeah,
Yep.
yeah, it's not like a question mark.
Yep.
Excellent.
Love it.
I will use minor illusion, and let me just double check. Can I do this at a point away from me? Within a range. So if I'm a bit like away from Tanto, a couple of meters, I will use minor illusion to very gently, like around his shoulders and a cone up. Honor.
You
Sure,
do that around Tanto, right?
The words
Yes.
you provide.
The way that illusion works, basically, can you make it in a way that only Tanto hears it, or is it like just like you you position it in a way that he would only hear it?
I would position it in a way where it's likely he can only hear it, and I say it softly. I can, according to the spell, I can change the volume from a whisper to a scream.
Cool, gotcha. You do that, and as it happens, you suddenly see Tantul. He stands still.
Like,
did you hear something in your heads? I heard something.
Oh, did you hear it?
well, Tanto will have heard it audibly, but yes. Oh, yes.
Also, I have a question.
Yeah.
With the passive perception of 19, can I tell that was like a thing?
Right. It's somatic and material. No vocal component, but I did not use
No,
the
but
sorcery points.
can I hear the sound? Like,
You have
can
a
I
passive
hear that it was
perception of
very
19?
obviously a sound? Yeah.
Of 19, like you would have heard the faintest sound coming from somewhere around Tantul. There's just the faintest sound.
Oh, they're finally
It's like-
speaking to you.
At the last trial.
You know.
Okay.
Maybe this is the only thing they need to test of you. Maybe they know you're wise and courageous already.
Tantu looks at you as you say that, and he raises an eyebrow. Well, that sounded slightly mocking, if you ask me.
Well, I didn't ask you. And he just
What?
starts
No.
walking.
Right? So, Tantu will just shakes his head, but seems to be too happy that he finally also got to hear something in his head. And the five of you move on, and before you know it, you are at the entrance gate of this fortress. Massive steel and stone gates are closed in front of you. But you hear from the top of the wall, from the parapets above you, all of you hear a voice. New visitors. And if you look up, you see a hobgoblin clad in black armor standing on top of the walls.
Looks familiar?
Looks familiar. You've seen this figure before at a cave. Rayn has seen him in a vision.
Oh dear.
I have a very important question.
Well?
How far away is this?
Oh, he's like, the wall is at least like 50 feet up.
Do you want to attack them?
I fly
Within
up 50
120?
feet.
You want to throw the javelin at them?
Oh, no,
What
not
the
the
hell?
hell. Are they within 120 feet, though?
Yes, they are.
Wait.
Okay, cool. Firebolt, but,
No!
like, over their shoulder. I'm not
And
trying to
Rayn-
hit them. I'm just
Okay.
trying to hit. I'm just going over the hobgoblin's shoulder.
And Rayn,
You've
you
been
wanted to
wanting
fly up?
to do this for so long.
Yeah, to get a better look.
Okay, so Rayn, you fly up while...
I'll start with 30 feet because I'll go slowly because I'm like, Rayn does know that like she might not be entirely welcome and she knows she pushes buttons, but sometimes it's a bit too far, but she's gonna cautiously go up 30 feet to start.
Gotcha. So you got to go up those 30 feet for starters, and as you go up, flying past you is a firebolt that flies past you like up the wall and goes past this steel-clad figure. The figure just keeps looking down, didn't move an inch, sees Rayn approaching. You shall be tested. Come in. And the
I shout
gates
down,
below
We've been invited. What if we were
Open.
vampires? As I flip back down.
as the doors slowly open. And beyond them you see not like any kind of like a square or some space beyond the wall, but you can see into something that is like an interior room illuminated by something, by various kinds of light. You enter.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
All right. So, you step into the room beyond. You first come into a small antechamber that has a short staircase leading upwards to the room proper. It is a room with many corners and lights of various colors in those corners. Some of these lights are the lights coming from torches that are set against pillars that hold the roof of this room, about 30-foot high roof aloft. But some of these lights come from plants that seem to have grown through the cracks in the walls and the floor and taken up residence here. The fur of what must have been an immensely large wolf at some point covers the center of the room. To the left and the right in the room, you see fountains nestled into the sides of this room, and clear water leading into those fountains. There is a smell of both smoke and fire here, but also of incense and the faintest hint of sweat. At the far end of the room, all the way across you, is a massive throne out of stone and steel. Furs cover parts of it, and on the top of the back of the throne is a massive head of what must be the largest elk you have ever seen, with gigantic antlers on it. And on this throne, this sign of power, sits a broad-shouldered hobgoblin, clad in black armor, his skin of a red tone, and his eyes a striking yellow. His hair is kept short, and he musters all of you as you enter. Wrapped around his right arm, around his armor, is a chain of dark steel with various runes carved into them.
As we're walking up, I kind of go over to Dythun and I whisper, seeing like, I guess Mur'taal on the throne. Like, I don't know about you, but I really dislike when honor is dictated by people sitting like that, on chairs like that, in rooms like this.
I prefer more of
Shots
a
fired.
round table.
The figure looks at you and just keeps his eyes on all of you and then says, I would be inclined to agree with you. He leans back in his throne, and all of you can see that his form, like his silhouette, blurs, as if his edges are not sharp. They're blurry and actually dissolve into the space around him. I wouldn't be inclined to, if called upon, fight against tyrants who use this regalia to impress and oppress. But it seems that is not my part here.
Are you saying you are being held against your will?
Tis not that easy with the deal I have made. And to be frank, I wonder how much answers I should give to one that is stained by those who brought the wounds upon me that would kill me. You bear the markings, Triton. But you seem to be unaware of their implications.
Allow me to intercede, if I may. thank you for inviting us into your hall. My friend here, Miss Rayn, is relatively aware of the circumstances set upon her, and I do not appreciate that you may underestimate or overlook my friends like that. I care for these people, and they are worthy of more than just your first impression. Besides, not everyone can be lucky as to go through life without any stains on them. That doesn't reflect on the quality of the personality.
I see how you have passed the trial of wisdom with such insights.
I would call them that, but indeed here we are, so there must be some kind of reason. The narrative.
The narrative. The thrice damned narrative. This tale this playwright keeps on spinning. This story that they keep on telling. This legend of mine. This prison of mine.
What of the individual who got you out, though? Wouldn't their story be more impressive? They were able to succeed in something you didn't, and assist you, and then lead to glory. I'm checking to Tonsil because I think that's what I heard.
Yep,
Mishka?
exactly. And you said it, and Tonsil was like nodding, like correct. And you see Mur'taal now. He shifts his weight a bit in his chair, and as he does, you see that his outlines that are blurred for a brief moment, it's as if there's like a mirror image layered over him, and you see there's just this phase of despair briefly flashing over him and then dissolving into nothingness. Miska. She was wise and strong. Too wise and strong to make my mistakes.
Well,
what legend
everyone
do they
makes
tell of
mistakes.
me?
I look at Tantul because he's the one telling
Someone
this
can't
legend over and
hear
over.
Ida.
What?
Yeah.
I can't hear Ida.
Hello, hello.
I can hear it.
I can't hear anyone.
I can hear her.
Uh-oh.
Uh-oh.
Now I can hear people
great.
again. Sorry,
Hello.
that was my bad.
Hey.
Sorry,
Oh.
that was on my end.
Not like
Everything's
we need
fine.
a DM or anything.
My apologies. Could you please repeat
You
that,
just have
Ida?
to
I,
find the-
as Mur'taal's asking who was telling my legend all this time, I turned to Tantul because Tantul is the one who has been perpetuating this inaccurate legend. Maybe. Well, no. Tantul told the Mishka perspective.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he looks at Tantul. What tale do you tell? What does my story, my legend say about Miska? And Tantul, who's now like basically face to face with like a historic figure that he admires, he stands there. My lord, the story that I have been taught by the other bards is that you were trapped in your trials, and Miska came and aided you, and that she helped you see how you struggled with your own honor. And Mur'taal smiles at that. I am glad that the stories make Miska sound wise, which she was.
Well,
But it is not the truth.
I was going to say that everyone makes mistakes, and ultimately we pay for them. But no one pays forever.
No. But some do. I was not let freely out of this place when Miska came. I was too interesting for these entities. And so they let me go under one condition. That once my life was over, once my legend completed, I would come to Telenet and tell my story here. I was even bestowed a great weapon. He raises his arm, looks at the chain wrapped around it. The legend I did create. But when the Delphine came, I fought these monstrosities of Zoriat. I was wounded, and my legend came to an end. So, what are you here for? To be part of my legend?
Actually, we are here for a job.
A job?
Sorry, nothing too epic or personal, sadly. Just picking something up. And
So I have petitioners who overcome the first trials, and they come here to my trial because they are here in service to someone else.
correct. I am quite a big fan of stories, but life is most of the time just tedious, as I've found. I haven't been alive for that long, but within the tedious, you can also find moments of entertaining happiness. Just, sometimes it's not the big story everyone wants it to be. Just continue on and do what normal people do. Perhaps not that normal.
Well, if you are here in service to someone else, what is this exact job you have to do?
Pointing at the chains around his arm, like that thingy.
You're not even here for me.
Oh, come on, the world is not cycling around you.
I absolutely agree.
I'm
And it
gonna
is
be
quite...
honest, I didn't even know what your name was until like a few days ago. Still not 100% sure on it. I think it's more
Our guy
tall.
is here for you.
Yeah, he's like all about your thing.
and Tanto says,
stories, so
yes, but it seems that I did not tell them correctly. I'm sorry, my lord. I did not. Mur'taal at this point slowly rises from his throne. And it's almost as if he leaves behind after images as he rises from the throne. No need for apologies. 'Tis refreshing to see such blatant honesty in a world that is woven by deception and guile. So it is my chain you want? And he looks at all of you.
Yeah.
You have brought your own weapons.
Yes.
And I have my weapon. He
Oh, is this a fight to death? Where the last person standing gets his chain?
he
Who's that honor?
as you say that, Delphine, he like twists his arm a few times so that bit of the chain comes loose, and he starts twirling that around, and you hear like this whoosh, whoosh, whoosh as the chain is being spun around. How is it honor to just go through all these trials for material gain? How is it honor to wade through the blood of your enemies for vain glory? How is it honor?
Well, if this isn't the trial of honor, then please point us in the right direction.
The voices seem to be debating the title, so
Let us see if we can come to an answer to their question. And he's now fully standing straight, most of his chain unwrapped, which he's now holding with both hands, and just whirling around as clanking armor moves towards you after images of a legendary hero of the Dakani Empire. The legend incarnate is moving towards you with the chains that you are looking for, challenging you to honorable combat. And how all of that is going to pan out,
I knew it.
we're going to find out next session.
Oh, come on!
Can't we just start it, you know?
Can we just battle now?
Like,
We are
why?
like the most irreverent bunch here. Well, it took
We're
Rebus a
literally
while to
like-
get irreverent, but they got there eventually. They got dragged down by the
Corrupted.
rest of our
You
apathy.
corrupted my boy!
And we're not
They
sorry
were so
about it.
pure.
So pure, so innocent. And
So done with everything by this point.
look, to be absolutely fair, who would not be done if they were stuck in a plane where there's just people pulling up all kinds of nonsense just to have like, here, be part of our little story. Come on. So-
Yeah. At this point, like, they've been through a couple adventures like this where, like, challenges would arise and they've talked with, like, forbidden gods. And so they're just like, now this is not, like, even real. This is just, like, for your own entertainment. Like, what is this? We're just here for the job. Like, yes, I mean, it's not the most glamorous, but, like, everyone needs to eat. I don't... When Mur'taal was like, ooh, for material gain, I'm like, we're not planning on being billionaires. Like, we literally just need to cover expenses and we're good at our job. Like, dude, please, you know, chill.
Adventure
Just
came up.
let us do our job.
Everyone
We're
needs
the
to eat.
retail
Like,
workers.
Good shoot.
oh.
Is there okay? So you're a retail worker. Is it like also like something like Black Friday that you all dread to do or something? Is that like if you're sent into the Tomb of Horrors or something?
What we're dreading to do would be
Yeah.
like, what, escort missions? Where the NPC
Or
walks
delivery
really slowly,
services.
Or delivery, yeah.
Yeah. I think our
Just-
Black
we
Friday
have
is
to save
basically
the
that.
world. when you have to save the world and you don't even get paid for it because it's like, oh, this is happening again. Okay, fine. We'll save the world now.
Well, that's the difference. That's being a hero. Rayn is definitely not a hero yet. Well, I don't know.
Oh, no, I thought this entire party was filled with heroes. You're all the archetypical heroes.
Oh yeah, obviously. Whoops.
That's why, especially only one part of the party saved that goblin, while the other party was like, ah, yeah, okay, keep him. That's why we are here.
Who knows how that's gonna end for Nago, Ogan, and Kina the Panther. It's
I love
story
them.
to be told another day.
That's
Marcus, thank you so much for DMing this session. I'm sorry
thank
we've
you.
been such brats. I really appreciate your villains and your whole like world and atmosphere, and I'm sorry we're just like, oh, he's monologuing. Oh yeah, he's doing the thing. Okay, yeah, okay.
I'm not sorry about it.
Now can we have this?
It's part of our show.
Exactly. It is the
I'll send you some chocolate or something. I'm sorry.
it is the contrast between the seriousness that some of these people portray themselves and your complete disregard of them that makes this great, and it's always fun to run this. So I would be quite surprised if this would have turned out different.
To be quite
I'll take that as
honest,
a compliment.
I assumed that Rebus's outburst could have come as a surprise, but like we have Rayn in our party. Like I don't know what else. You
That's why
expected.
it's a mild surprise, because we're 29 sessions
Nine
in,
sessions.
and suddenly Rebus is like being a bit more vocal. Is like, you know, they've had it up to here,
Something
and here is
from
there.
Rayn has definitely, you know, they've been connected through the mind. I feel like something has stuck from.
Aw, they're growing.
Yeah.
All right. Well, this indeed was very fun. But to every session comes an end, but this is definitely not the end of the campaign. Before we head out for today, do we have any announcements we would like to share?
No.
Things are moving on the horizon, but it's too early to mention on multiple fronts, even for me as well. Have to say, Austin.
Austin, got anything?
I was just gonna say everyone can wish Serial a happy belated birthday.
Indeed.
Oh,
Oh yeah.
Yesterday was their birthday, so
Yeah. There are many tweets about it, but now that we see you again, hope you had a lovely birthday.
Exactly.
I
Once
did,
again,
but-
happy birthday.
So Sarah and I are both like friends in Lion.
The Leos. The
Yeah,
Leos,
the
yeah.
Leos. We are the Leos.
It shows.
All right, then. Well, that means that was it for today. We will be back next week to see how the party faces the legendary hero Mur'taal and his chains. But until then, thanks everyone who has joined us today in chat and as a viewer. We are currently also seeing if we're going to rate someone while we're still here. And if you want to rate along, that's great if you stick along. But also, thanks very much for being here. We will be back on next week, Tuesday, same time, same place. And thank you very much again. I'm seeing like we have like a bit of a
I
little
love you.
internal chat where we're going to raid. I think there is going to be a raid coming up to what we have. We're going to go for Malef Floshinobi, who I'm assuming Malef is
Yay.
once again painting miniatures, and which are amazing to look at. So please join our raid over there so we can pay a visit to Malef.
Takes a
Raids
few
gathering.
seconds. Yeah.
Getting people together. And thanks everyone once again. See you next week.
Bye.
Bye-bye.